Hello and greetings, my pretties. So it's Josie here, but maybe a little bit different looking than you would usually see me. So it is October. I love October. I love autumn. I love the spooky season. I love Halloween. Not sure you can tell. And I love reading wonderful, spooky, thrillery, Halloweeny books this time of year. So I did say in the video that I think I uploaded today that I wasn't going to do a October TBR, but let's scrap that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to be doing a TBR for the Spookathon, which is happening 14th to the 20th of October, and that is hosted by the wonderful Booksome Lala. I love the Spookathon. I've been taking part for a couple of years now, 2-3 years now, so I cannot wait to take part in it again this year. So I've got some books picked out for that. So I thought I would do a Spookathon TBR, but then I'd also just do a TBR. So to tell you what the spooky, wonderful books are that I'm planning to read for the month of October. Some of these might cross over with Spooktober for the end of the month, but we shall see how the reading goes, whether or not I use some of these that I've got here, or some of the ones that I am planning to purchase before the end of the month and read. Because my plans are still on track for the lovely rereadathon in November and December. So without further ado, let's get to the books. So let me do my Spookathon TBR first. So there's a few challenges for this one, and I am doubling up. I'm not doubling up on a lot, so I'm trying to get through all of these. So the first challenge is to read a thriller. Now, I don't have too many thrillers, but I think this one kind of classes as a thriller. So it is The Red Tree by Caitlin Kiernan. And as far as I know, the main character, she has left kind of quite a tumultuous relationship, and she goes off, I think, into rural, was it Rhode Island? Yeah, into sort of the wilds of Rhode Island, and she goes to this house, and kind of spooky, weird things start to happen while she's in this house, but I think it's a bit of a kind of more of a thrillery kind of vibe. So also, I have been informed, hopefully well informed, that the main character in this book is queer. So as always, I am attempting to read only queer kind of spooky fiction. So the main character apparently is queer in this book, but as always, once I've read it, I will tell you what the content is. I am also actually reading this book as a book to read in a spooky setting, because I think the countryside is just spooky on its own. You know, crazy, weird, creepy house, spooky setting. I think this one kind of fulfills both of those challenges. Then the next book is to read a book with red on the cover. Now, I could go really literal and use The Red Tree. Also, the background has got a bit of red on it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to attempt to read this wonderful book over here, Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. Or, yeah, it is Victoria Schwab. She writes under this particular genre. So this is more sort of middle grade YAE kind of horror. Horror, thrillery kind of. And doesn't it wonderfully match my look today? So what this is about, it is the second book in a series. So the first one was called, City of Ghosts. And you've got the main character whose parents are actually kind of ghost hunters. But the joke is kind of on them, because the main character, their daughter, Cassidy, can actually talk to ghosts, and she has a ghost best friend. So her parents have been kind of commissioned to go around all the spookiest cities in the world and chase down ghosts and do this TV series on ghost hunting. So the first book I really loved, A City of Ghosts, was in Edinburgh, which is kind of a spooky place anyway. This one, as you can probably tell by the Eiffel Tower on the front there and what I assume are the catacombs, is going to be set in Paris. Paris, one of probably my favourite city in the world so far. So I am really looking forward to continuing with Cassidy's adventures and seeing where she goes. So definitely want to get to this. And this is also pretty much a brand new release. It's just come out. Then the next book is this one over here. So this is Perfectly Preventable Deaths, and I'm using it for read a book with a spooky word in the title. So death, I think, you know, that's spooky. Tunnel of Bones would work for this as well. Tunnel of Bones would also work, I guess, kind of for a thriller as well. But we'll use this one for the spooky word. Also, how cool is that cover? A kind of spooky little menagerie of things. So this book, I don't know too much about it, but it is about 16-year-old twins, Maddie and Caitlin. So Caitlin seems to be a theme here. And they live in a little town, and From what I know, this is a peculiar family. This is to do with witchcraft, so witches, and I believe that the character in here is also queer. So I am looking forward to reading some more queer, spooky, witch type of books. And then the last one that I'm going to be reading for Spookathon, almost said Spooktober, Spookathon, is this gorgeous book over here. So this is The 10,000 Doors of January. Now, I'm not aware that this necessarily has queer content. Somebody did mention something to me, but the reason I've actually picked this up is because one of the challenges is to read something that you wouldn't normally read. Now, in my current state, I wouldn't normally read books that didn't have queer content, and also, I don't know if I would have picked this book up had it not been for the massive amount of hype around this book. So many people have been reading it. So many people have either been loving it. I know a couple of people have hated it. Most people have loved it. It's a bit like a portal fantasy. It's supposed to be quite dark and creepy. A girl's living with her kind of creepy uncle, and she kind of goes through different portals. So I'm hoping that is going to be as wonderful and creepy and kind of Halloween-y as people are saying, but this is a book that I wouldn't normally have picked up. Also, the cover's gorgeous, so I'm really hoping it's going to be amazing. So those are all my Spookathon books, and like I said, that's running from the 14th. And then I also have a bunch of books that I'm looking to get to in this month. So for the month of October generally, and like I said, some of these might overlap with other readathons, but just bear with me. The first one, this cover, is Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. I have been dying to read this book. It is, again, queer witches, but of the bruja variety, which kind of gives it a different spin. I think this is going to be gorgeous. Everybody that has reviewed this book has loved it. All I had to hear was queer witches and kind of crazy mayhem, and I needed to read it also. The most glorious cover, which, an aside, I'm going to probably be recreating. So my other kind of project for October is I am recreating, in sort of makeup on my face, some of my favourite book covers, and probably predominantly spooky book covers. So I've done 2 so far. This is actually the second look, so I will show you. The book I've based this on is kind of this one, so I've gone a bit ham with this, but when I took the photo, this wasn't on my head. But this is the book that I've based it on. So this is Girls Who Bite, and this is lesbian vampire erotica. So this is definitely on my reading list for October. I had to save it for October. And that's kind of the look I was sort of going for, with, you know, a bit of the vampire bite and sort of the red and the red eyes. So yes, so this is sort of the look I based it on, but that's kind of my other project, is getting out some amazing book covers that I love, and recreating them on my face. So, but this is another book I'm going to read in October. Then the next book I'm going to read is actually a reread. I read this every October, and that is Poppy Z. Bright's Lost Souls. This was the first kind of queer vampire book I ever read. I adore it. Above all things, it's probably my favourite book, if not one of all my time favourite books. I love it. I will read it again. I will probably do an entire video on this book this time, because I think it deserves the love and the feels. I love this book. Then the next one, I'm going to speed up a bit, is A Dream So Dark by L.L. McKinney. This is the follow-up to A Blade So Black, which I loved, which is a Alice in Wonderland retelling. It's quite dark. Alice, our main character in this, she has to fight people's dreams and nightmares. There was also a beautiful female-female romance blooming in the first book, so I'm hoping that that's going to come into fruition in this one. But Wonderland is very dark in these, and it's perfect for the season. Then the next one is this one, These Witches Don't Burn, Queer Witches. Queer teen witch fun madness. I'm here for it. I cannot wait to read it. It's been sitting on my shelf for months waiting for October, so definitely getting to that. Talking about queer witches, another one, Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women and Witchcraft. I don't believe all of the tales are queer, but I believe that quite a number of them are, and this is a short story collection of witch women, wonderful goodness, perfect for October. Then the next one are 2 new releases, which I've been dying to read. Excuse the pun. So the first one is this lovely book over here, Gideon the Ninth. So this has been on my list of just most anticipated reads of the year, and I finally got it. First of all, gorgeous cover, black sprayed edges. How amazing. I am trash for sprayed edge. And this book, frequently the description everybody gives is lesbian necromancers in space. And that is all I want to know. Boston Reads Books, who I adore, has read this, loved it, said it reminded her of Nevernight a little bit, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I DNF Nevernight months ago. Then I picked up like a digital sampler and started reading the first 3 chapters and went, why in the hell did I DNF this? I love this. So I am now in the process of purchasing another copy of Nevernight because I got rid of the other copy I had, and I am going to then do a Nevernight kind of reading challenge. And I don't know, I'm going to try and do it in October, but that plan's not definite. But Boston described this as similar to Nevernight in vibes, so I am really looking forward to this. It sounds so unique, so different, and it's just gorgeous. And then the last book, which was also a most anticipated read for me, is this one over here, and it's The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millward Hargrave. And I believe this is told from the perspective of the women in the Dracula story. That's kind of what it is. Again, this is a gorgeous sprayed edge copy. I actually have a signed copy by the author. This is one of the most beautiful books. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me take this off. I just have to do this. Look at that book. It is stunning. So I love Dracula. And yeah, this book is supposed to be from the women's perspective. It is also meant to be queer. Yeah, I think, it sounds good. And this dragon, apparently, learns about a dragon. Oh my goodness, there's dragons, there's twins. We will see how this goes, but this looks really good, and I love the cover. So those are the books so far that I'm planning to read in October. Let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know if you've read Gideon the Ninth. I want to know what people are thinking, and The Deathless Girls. Let me know what spooky, wonderful books that you're reading, and what spooky wonderfulness that you're doing for Halloween, and I will see you all very soon in some more Halloween themed videos. Bye bye.